Hello, friends, and it is time for a part 2. A sequel, or another installment. I guess it would just be another installment. Anyway, this is from Reddit user JCMeRollin. I still like your name. This is Fishbeard part 2. Why am I still here? Just to suffer. I added that last part. Anyway, let's get on with this. So we have our cast, but the only thing that seems to be added is a new person named Jim, Tony's friend from the Down Underlands, alternative 18 gamer, and Tony had the hots for them. The character all set and ready for this tiring play. Let us begin. Okay. So, to skip ahead about 6 months from our last tale, tiny things happened, which can be summarized in 2 sentences. Slender Woman broke up with OP, then begged to get back together, and FB found his mask started to crack. The year of 2014. To be honest, I don't have any memory of anything that would significantly happen, so just 2014, the year of forced MLP, word I can't say on YouTube in the first minute, and awkward advances from people on me. It's not a negative thing, it's just a style of art from Japan that's more adult, let's put it that way. But YouTube has rules. Really, really stupid rules. Is what the year is filed as, in my mind. Our tale starts with a cool March night. Insert annoying Apple tritone sound here. I don't know what that is. Who would message me at 10:30 p.m. on a school day? It was Slender Woman with a "we're over" text, cue begging and sadness. Critical failure to meet objective. So I text my friends, trying to find moral support, which I fortunately did this time. Tony brought Jim into the game, and we were playing on Steam at the time. I don't remember exactly what it was, but knowing me, it was probably Gmod or Left 4 Dead 2. I've never played either one of those, but everybody I know has. I don't know how that happened. But I knew little about Jim. However, Tony had been friends with her at this time for about a year, and I only knew she lived in Australia. And in my opinion, they seem more distant than they should have, but regardless of the truth, I'm a nosy bitch and asked Jim some questions to learn about her. Which was to my success, she answered them all with joy in her voice. However, Tony took this as stepping on his territory and bro code. Oh dear God, I forgot this. This is about high schoolers. And the drama. The drama. I'm gonna fucking melt. Which it wasn't. I'm just learning about someone who I know very little about. Exactly. Jim also started to feel the same vibes coming from him. Being upset was actually getting more information than he ever got. After a couple of hours, Tony was pushing out anger and jealousy. Oh dear Lord. Jim finally had enough and said, "Well, it's late for me. We can all play something tomorrow, I guess." This was, however, a lie that she was saying. It was specifically for Tony not to message her until she messages first. Next day rolls around. I didn't go to school because I had come down with a cold or something similar of the sort. And Slender Woman was apparently being put on an investigative light by almost everyone I knew in school, as Tony knew of the breakup and had no real concern for my privacy due to it being high school and him being a piece of shit. That sounds pretty accurate. Now, I know the series of events that took place this next week at school while I was sick, but I'm going to tell them as I found them out. It's a timeline account to show how shitty my life was after all. So, off to that night. Jim messaged me, "Hey, I don't want to play anything with Tony for a bit. He's getting weird, so if you want to play something, just let me know, okay?" I replied, "Okay," and about an hour later took up that offer as I was trying to find something to be a distraction from the dark feelings I felt. I believed at 11:30 that would be Jim. We actually did this every night for the rest of the week, with only one night missed because, as mentioned earlier, I found out what was being spread about me in my small high school and how to save herself from the verbal beatdown from everyone by breaking up with one of the popular freaks, quote-unquote. Slender Woman made a very poor choice that I personally saw go back and bite her in the ass a couple years later. And that choice was to lie, or to take small snips of truth and then surround them with copious layers of lies to make it sound like I was the biggest and most abusive piece of shit in the school in order to gain sympathy. So to break this down, let's talk about the major points individually in the order they busted over her head by the next edition, so it's more neckbeard and less, whoa, teen years are so hard. I mean, a lot of people here do focus specifically on the neckbeard things, but I'm down for this absolute trash fire because that's what my life is, and it sounds like you were in the same boat, so grab an oar and start paddling, kiddo. OP punched me multiple times. Well, yes and no. I actually only really punched her once. She had the great idea from my stepsister, who was far enough into her adulthood at the time, that it'd be so hilarious to punch me in the jewels while I was taking a nap on the recliner in the living room. And what did I do as a response to being woke from that? I swung. Not in the face, not in the neck, but in the same place I was punched with adrenaline and fear and pain-ridden reaction, making her double over and get my stepsister to yell at me for, quote, hitting someone over a prank, especially a girl. Okay, slight take from your friend Moonhorse. Don't fucking hit people. Gender irrelevant. Just don't fucking hit people, dude. What the fuck? That's not funny. But the other two were small, like, good job, champ, arm hits that might have been a little too hard, I guess, to be honest, but in no way were actual blows. OP threw me on the ground. No, when you're blocking a whole walkway in the cafeteria with your backpack because you decided to keep it on while you're sitting with a crowd of people dancing around and trying to squeeze by because people grew tired of waiting and would yank the backpack, forcing me to attempt to catch you every day, doesn't mean that I was the one doing it, which she knew. And finally, OP's a pathological liar. I honestly have not a solid defense on this, but only an explanation. Yeah, I lied. Pathologically? No. Well, maybe to her parents, because I didn't want two Bible thumpers, one being a, can't say that word on YouTube, but let's say kid person, to know about me. Understandable. And when I finally told her about my gender dysphoria, she thought that was a lie for attention as, quote, I don't like women, not even ones with dongs. Man, you just kind of grew up with just the worst fucking people, didn't you? I'm so sorry for that, but seriously, this girl, it's starting to sound more and more like an asshole like the other one. Being her reasoning to herself as, oh, this is how they feel. Now that the full profile of Slender Woman was revealed, I suddenly no longer felt sad about the breakup, just malice that I was being slandered for her own pity. So, that one night break from gaming with Jim was replaced with me and her just video chatting and primarily venting and talking about stuff we liked. At the end of that week, I decided, okay, well now everyone in the school thinks I'm some kind of piece of shit, and I know for a fact that I have all my credits to graduate, so I took the school's offer of alternative classes to prepare for a GED test and balancing working at Walmart overnight, gaming with Jim on my off time for the next 2 weeks. Enter Fishbeard, the only person to either not care or believe Slender Woman in my mob at school because he graduated. Now this is where it seems to start going in the shit I should have ignored bin. Starting with the night I didn't want to walk home, so I decided to spend the night at his house to try and not walk across the town the very early morning. His smelly fish tank being right behind the supermarket. But while it was his grandmother's house and her rules were strict, he managed to make a weird sort of nest, but used Nerf guns, kendo swords, and monster cans as his materials. And what is the first thing I see him doing as I walk in? Something normal, perhaps? Dead fucking wrong. He was handling himself to Futa MLP porn. Way too hard for his fully erect, maybe the length of my middle finger, little smoky sausage. So I, ever the fucking genius, just wanted the bed, so climbed on the bed to watch something on my phone, avoiding eye contact because I knew from an ex of his, it'd be like 2 minutes and he'd be done. So what does he do? He turns his head to stare at me instead of the screen, thinking I didn't notice. Skeets and yeets to the bathroom with his pants still around his thighs with a, I'll be back. Why did you even stay in the room? That's, Now I don't have a clue why I did ignore this. Okay. I didn't just burst in. He did leave me on read when I said I was about to walk into his house. I had been here before and had become pretty good friends with him in that year that I had known him. It was a weird situation, but not like I'd seen his quote 2-inch pussy punisher. God. Before, because boys will be boys and do overly weird kind of homoerotically gay things if left to their own lonesome in a group of bisexual and bi-curious teens. I'm gonna have to take your word for that because I've never seen such a thing. But then again, I'm also drastically antisocial and have been even when I was a teen, so in the case of that situation, I thought it was because we didn't actually believe him when he said he was uncut, so what else to do but whip it out. I cringe thinking about the shit I did as a teen, because all of us did the same thing to, compare. Oh, so you had a D club. You guys had a D club. I'm sorry, I will fuck with you over that. With him and the smell of axe wafting in, I get an official greeting from FB. You could have knocked, but hi. Your room is all the way across from the front door, and you left me on read. I said I was coming in, and you didn't say anything about being busy. Having none of his fake, I didn't intentionally do this shit, and knew he was spewing. Yeah, I did. If only you were Suitor, I could have... Wow. If only you were Suitor, I could have sucked your dick. Visually weirded out, because I had explained to him in the nicest way possible, I might be bisexual, but he was just my friend, and not anything near my type. Purposely just talking about build and personality, not to hurt its ego. No, that's not gonna happen. Come on, you know it can. You asked me one more time and I'm just gonna go home and enjoy my day off. You came up with this idea of hanging out when I said I didn't want to walk home. Fine. Then sulking like a little kid, he turns around and starts ignoring me for League of Legends for a good while, so I took a nap, till he was lonely and I apparently was snoring, messing up his playing. By dinner time, we're both hungry, so we walk over to my place of work to grab food. Myself getting something from the Subway in the store, buying a great Mexican soda called Jarritos. I've never heard of that. I'm going to have to try that. Him getting what else but Doritos, Pocky, and Mountain Dew. Yes, the three corners of the food pyramid there, huh? Now, more problems arose. He had this weird thing of staring at you until you share your food, but in no way returns the favor and actually guards his. If you even look in that direction, he looked like you're plotting a grand heist. And as per usual, it happened with me, not relinquishing food for the hair under the chin lord of the fish. He threw another mini pout on his computer chair, to mine and his mother's annoyance, who were standing there berating him for what she thought was an unannounced guest, being as she sleeps till like 5 p.m. every day, and didn't see or hear her own mother answer the door and say hello with a hug. With my dinner and now a show I knew was about to happen from a previous sight of her coming into his room. So why don't you apply for jobs? OP is a year younger than you, no high school degree, I mean, wrong, but whatever, I'll ignore that, and still almost management at Walmart. I'm working on it. Are you? Because I guarantee you just used your grandmother's money to get food rather than the free stuff in the pantry. I didn't know there was food in there. I thought groceries were still a day away. So you didn't even check? Typical, just like your dad. How hard is it to apply and get a job with UOP? I mean, he can apply, but it's unlikely he'll be hired since I'd be the one interviewing him, because our only opening is in meat and produce and policies about hiring and privileges. So you wouldn't hire him? See, FB, you need to clean up. Your own friend wouldn't hire you because of policies about hygiene. Well, he didn't say that. Internal screaming because his mother hit the nail on the head without me saying it. Whatever. Going back to my room before this gets heated. Yeah, see you later, Bob. Can't wait for... No, can't say that on YouTube. Can't wait for her to die. Hopefully she'll move out before that happens. Wow, classy. This fucker actually imply that if she doesn't move out with her boyfriend, he's going to commit the homicide? Am I really ready to help drag a 300-pound woman to a random field if I'm here? Great, now I'm hungry after that. Hey, I think I'm going to put my sandwich in the fridge and just go to sleep. I'll leave when I wake up in the morning. Sounds like a plan. Now, I pulled out the bed and talked to Jim for like an hour and fell asleep after an hour of Fishbeard tapping away on League of Legends, very badly because he knows how to play, and refused to listen to the one person he has never won a lane battle with, me. I have no idea what that means. With that train wreck of a night over, and me waking up to him for some reason passed out in the snow angel position, which I only remember solely for the reason that he slept in a twin bed, and it was weird seeing a snoring person with two of their limbs sticking straight off the side of the bed in their sleep. I gathered my stuff and walked to the fridge for breakfast. Gone. One of the 4 shitbags in this house ate my sandwich in the maybe 7 hours it was there. Cool, whatever. I'll detour like a little bit and get McDonald's or something. And off I wandered into the great small town to get stared at because how dare I walk like a peasant and not drive maybe a mile and a half home when gas, last time I checked, was not the same price as 2 getaway sticks I got. I don't know what that means. A relaxing 20 minutes walk later, I'm home and crawling into the shower to wash all the what the fuck just happened to me this month out of my head with a long hot shower. Well, after that, I honestly just wanted to get into bed and go back to sleep. After I woke up, I saw some messages from Tony complaining that Jim keeps leaving him on read and he doesn't know why. My response was, well, read through your messages and see if it's something you said or if she's just busy or something. Just kidding, you think I was really that mature at 18? It was really just something like, whoa there, buckaroo, that's not very swag. She's probably just ghosting you. Oh, what a bitch. I forgot that people used to talk like that. I in fact found out why Jim was leaving him on read, like maybe an hour later when I got on that old thing called Skype, oh god, I remember it, with a message from her saying, hey, I got a question. Yeah, go for it. I'll ask it later. Want to play Moonbase Alpha again today?
Mamma mia, Papa Pia, baby got the diarrhea.
Sure, just let me know when to boot it up. Okay. I would say like around midnight for me, I got the message to boot it up and a call from her on Skype. After that casual setup, figuring out how the day's gone, talk there was just talking through the game text-to-speech and fuckery and laughter coming from actual people. There was a silence which she broke. About that question I wanted to ask, well, I really like you, kind of more like than a friend. And I look forward to every message you send. You want to like maybe do a long-distance relationship? Great. I knew I liked her too and wanted just away from here. Maybe Australia will be a great idea if this works out. Around that time, Tony started calling me. What the fuck, you backstabbing piece of shit? Slenderwoman was right about you. What? You broke bro code. She was clearly mine. We're not friends anymore. Bye. First off, don't ever say bro code. Okay, what a bitch. I told him like a month ago I don't like him like that, and he had this same type of meltdown. Now, there's certain things that are no way of breaking a bro code. This is one. I liked Jim, but I also knew she was 1,000 miles away, so I did not actively go after her. All I did in reality was use her as the shoulder to lean on and be genuinely honest with her. She was so far away, telling her I was trans, bi, and other things that I can't say seemed reasonable, because if she just dropped off and ghosted, I got my venting and problems off my chest. And she liked that I trusted her with the truth about me, and she told me things about herself as well. I thought it was nice to have a friend to hang with, and Tony thought that was overstepping and going after sympathy points. Oh my god, Tony sounds like an incel. But no, I had just made a good friend far away to actually be myself and honest with, who fell in love with the real me, not some fake mask I'd put on in defense of rejection. She saw me cry, be happy, genuinely smile, and sat there with me. When I was so low, I was coming up with a plan of, can't say that on YouTube, just to stop the pain. Fear and sadness I was just struggling with and becoming too much. That story of sorrow and trial with the gray clouds overhead was starting to become clear and sunny when I heard her laugh or just talk and smile started to make me smile and become happy for once. Jim is someone I'll always love, but this story is a Fishbeard, not coming out to electric boogaloo with jazz hands. You have a way with words. Now, with only 2 people actually in my life, I was stuck with only FB and his family. This was not the worst, but more tiny things about him slipped out and kept hitting my bailout now alert. The let me suck your dick became regular advances from him when we were alone after starting to date Jim, as he saw his window closing apparently, and when he finally caught wind of me being trans, she started saying things like, oh, I'd love a... Oh my god. I don't want to say this shit. I'd love a tranny/she-male in my harem.
Disgusting!
I'm gonna go throw up, and I'll be right back, okay? Oh, that's fucking gross. That's fucking gross. I took it as a joke because who the fuck would let this guy near their genitals, much less multiple people? Yeah. Well, I was wrong, as he did have one. He forcibly showed me the nudes that he had. These 4 women were all sending him in a singular group chat. What the fuck? He can do whatever he wants. Now for the big thrill. He had this thing for always just pulling his wang out at random points. It wasn't awkward, just annoying how he was acting, and I finally cracked from everything. Got up and walked out and sat on one of the front living room sofas, and waited to see if he was going to do this if we weren't in private. And he got the message, somewhat. He didn't stop, but it became more seldom, to the point that I trusted and wanted to hang out with him enough to recommend he join me at my new job in Amazon, as they're always hiring, and I knew that he didn't have a felony or do drugs, so regardless, he was getting hired as they needed people. He filled out his application and had his interview the next day. He got hired, which made his family happy, and him happy to not have people breathing down his neck about things. He luckily was in another department, so he didn't bother me too much on our shift, just our mutual lunch and the rides to and from work. So occasionally I'd stay over, or vice versa, and we could go work, get money. But he did little weird things, like work his way into conversation while I was video chatting with Jim, or try to sleep right next to me / offer to share his twin bed. Touched me a lot more than usual, making me have to sit further away and out of reach. Yeah, okay. Just tiny cracks in his normalcy, showing the creepy side. Making me only rarely hang out with him outside of work, thus him having to get his grandmother to take him to and from work. An attempt for some actual distance and a breather. Then he got fired. He said laid off, but I doubt that, being that he was always following this fresh 18-year-old girl in his department. So who knows how he acted out of my sight. I mean, I was very good friends with a dude that threatened to assault someone with a screwdriver because she declined a date with him. What the fuck? Kind of makes you think, well, that's the type of crazy that's obvious and attracts matching crazy. So I was skeptical of his reasons for unemployment. He also maybe got tired of actually having to do work for his money and just quit. But again, I'm not his mother. If he gets nowhere, then he gets nowhere. I just leaned into lying to him, saying that my days off were catching up on sleep and things like that. But did it work? Well, find out on the next installment, I suppose. Thank you so much for those of you reading this and hearing my tale of long-played suffering. Okay. So, now we see just how fucking creepy old Fishbeard actually is. There's a name for that. I don't know if it's an official name. The little things Fishbeard was doing to you there, OP. That's called pushing boundaries. This, just a little bit here, just a little bit there. Well, maybe if I just do this. Well, maybe if I just do that. And any time that he felt like he could get away with it, he would continue to do that. Just push a little bit further, just a little bit further, over and over and over. This is a common manipulation tactic, and it's done by really, really creepy, horrible people. And a lot when it comes to those weirdos like pickup artists and people like that. They actually advocate for that kind of thing, and a lot of those things, if you can believe that disgusting bullshit. But, yeah, that's definitely starting to see where a lot of this comes in. This dude's a fucking creep. Like an actual fucking creep. So, yeah, that's pretty fucked up. And, I imagine it's gonna get a lot worse. But some of the fucking crazy shit this dude said reminds me a lot of the neckbeards that I used to know when I was, like, a teenager. Even the whole, like, you know, threatening people just because they're so angry, impotent rage, that kind of thing. I once described Kay as having a lot of that, and that's true. There's a lot of, like, you know, mad about something, but not actually going to do something about it. There's a lot of that. And, yeah, that's what this dude sounds like. Just pushing boundaries on whatever woman that he thinks he can get his hands on. Or whatever person that he thinks he can get his hands on, if we're being completely honest. And then impotent rage at those that he can't do anything with. A lot of threats, but never a follow-through. Your usual neckbeard nonsense. So, yeah, this guy's a fucking creep, and I'm sorry you had to deal with him. That's pretty fucked up. I look forward to the next part, though. I look forward to hearing what else is happening, and I really hope you're doing okay. I don't know if I said that in the last bit, but I do. I hope you're actually, like, doing good right now, you know? Not having to deal with all this shit. But as for all of you, I also hope you're all doing okay. Haha, see? Yeah. Also, you should like, comment, subscribe. That was my smooth transition for a sec. That was not a good segue. That was... yeah. Anyway, but you should, though. And also, I have a Ko-Fi and a merch store. You can check those out. I mean, if you can. I'd appreciate it. But you don't have to. But I'm thinking about it. I don't know why I said that. Also, I have a live stream every Saturday. You can come check that out. It's like this, in all the ways that it's not. And I have a Discord server, which is where you get to hang out with me and all my weird friends. You can just do that. The links to that and so many more things are under this video and every video, for being completely honest. And I'll see you in the next one, everybody. Okay, goodbye.